Welcome to Heart of David Ministries video blog. Today I want to tell you a story about how angels are involved in our everyday lives. Last year I was in a situation where the house I was living in was put on the market and I was forced to have to find a house within a 6-week time period. The problem is that there were so few houses available, and the few that were available for exorbitant prices. So I had a problem. As the weeks began to go by, I was spending time asking God about the situation and asking that He would open up the right house for me. In fact, I would go walking in a large playing field that I like to walk backwards and forwards and just realize how big God is and how small I am. So I'm walking up and down this large playing field and just praying about this situation, and suddenly I felt an authority come on me, and I said, God, I send out your angels to open up the doors for the house that you have for me. It came with such an authority. I knew that I was speaking with an unction from God. And within the next day, a property manager rang me up and told me about a house that is the house I'm now in. And in fact, this video studio is in the house. And so when I moved into the house, I took some time to pray for the house, to cleanse it from any negative influences, and to dedicate the house to God's purposes. And as I was doing that, I heard God say to me, I want you to speak Mahanaim over this house and property. That was unexpected. We find Mahanaim in the Bible in Genesis 32, and this is what God said to Jacob. So Jacob went his way, and the angels of God met him. When Jacob saw them, he said, "This is God's camp," and he called the name of that place Mahanaim. Mahanaim means the place of the double camp, because not only was Jacob one camp with all of his wives and children and possessions, but the angelic realm was a second camp. And so this was actually the second time that Jacob had major encounters with angels. The first time is actually in Genesis chapter 28. And in Genesis 28, Jacob is literally fleeing for his life. He stole the birthright and the blessing of his brother Esau, and Esau was livid. He was mad. And so Jacob is fleeing for his life. And as he's fleeing for his life, he has a dream, and he sees a stairway between heaven and earth, and angels ascending and descending upon the stairway. And so Jacob wakes up in absolute awe because he realizes that God is with him and that there's a movement of the angelic all around him. But at this stage in Jacob's life, there's a clear distinction between the natural realm and the angelic realm. It took a dream for Jacob to be woken up and realize that there were angels all around him. And so Genesis 32 is the second time that Jacob has encounters with angels. And I'm just going to read a quote from an article I wrote recently. As Jacob grew in faith toward God, he was able to respond to God's leading, return to the promised land, and face his deepest fears. When Jacob responded with faith, the distinction between the two camps became blurred. The two camps started working together. So now in Genesis 32, when Jacob is coming back into the promised land, he has this encounter with the angelic realm, and he calls the place Mahanaim, the place of the double camp. And so God told me to speak Mahanaim over my new house and property. And suddenly I realized that everything about the new house was double what I had in the first house. Let me read the list that I put together. In the first house, there was one level. In the new house, there were 2 levels. In the first house, there were 3 bedrooms. In the new house, there are 4 bedrooms, plus a library, plus an office. In the first house, there were 2 wardrobes. In the second house, there are 2 wardrobes and 2 walk-in wardrobes. In the first house, there was 1 living area. In the second house, there were 2 living areas. In the first house, there was a small conservatory. In the new house, the conservatory is twice the size. In the first house, there was 1 bathroom, and in this new house, there are 2 bathrooms. The first house had a garage. The second house has a garage and a carport. In the first house, my kitchen, dining room, and laundry were one room, but in this new house, all those three are separate rooms. You know, the Bible says that we are citizens of two realms. In Philippians 3:20, Paul says this, "For our citizenship is in heaven." Not only are you a citizen of earth by God's design, but you are also a citizen of heaven. You have dual citizenship. You have citizenship in heaven and on earth. And so when God told me to speak Mahanaim over this house and this property, He was wanting me to bring that reality that I'm a citizen here on the earth, but I'm also a citizen in the heavenly realms, and that the two are to work together. And so I want to encourage you to speak Mahanaim over your life, over your church, and over your ministry. It's a powerful proclamation, it's a powerful declaration, and it's time for the two camps to work together. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below this YouTube video so that you can subscribe to the channel. And if you also want to go to our website, you can sign up for our Prophetic Bulletin. You'll get timely prophetic and teaching articles sent out to you once a month if you sign up for the Prophetic Bulletin. Finally, share this video with your friends. Let's ignite a generation with the heart of God.